Welcome back to Brumblebee Garage. Today is the day. It's the big day I've been looking forward to and also dreading today because it is hot again today. It is middle of January, so here in Australia that means it's hot for you all on the other side of the world. What is it? 32 degrees and 77% humidity, which means it's nearly raining inside the garage. What am I doing today? Spin you around, we'll have a look. So today is engine pull day. Yeah, I got the crane there ready to go. I'm so excited for this. Nope. So I'm not gonna do a massive video on it. It's pretty self-explanatory. You disconnect all your peripheries. Get your radiator off, get it out. For me, I'll get the AC off, out. I'll take the compressor off because there's no gas in it anyway, so that's fine. It can just come straight out. You know, obviously all your accelerator cable, you can leave your clutch cable there for the moment, although the gearbox is coming out, so I won't be leaving that in there. Get your starter motor off, get everything off, out, boom. As I said, take out the radiator. I take out the radiator. Undo your exhaust underneath, down there. Undo your mounts, you know, obviously. And drain the coolant, you know, first as well. I'll drain the oil as well on this as well, because it's not going back in. And what I will do this time that you don't normally have to do, but I'm going to take off the inlet manifold while it's still sitting there inside the car, and just because that is going on that, so I need the inlet manifold and, you know, everything else. So I'm going to try and take all of that in sort of one big lump, and I'll take all of the lines and everything. I'll just take them off from up here and take all of that with the inlet manifold. But yeah, so that's what today is bringing, doing something, I don't know. It's too hot. Anyway, you know, it's good this belt's coming off because I put it on the wrong way because the letters aren't reading out. That's fine. So I'll take the alternator off as well, don't forget that. You know, anything to make it a bit lighter, it's got to come off anyway because all that bracketry is going to go on the other engine. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to get cracking, get onto that, and I'll just do another quick update. All right, everyone. Well, the one person that's still watching, which is probably my mother. Updates. So, as you can see, we have successfully removed the intake manifold. It is still, let's call that 30 degrees and 80% humidity. Sweet. At 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm starting to put all the little things that I didn't have on this engine that are coming off this motor, which looks all empty now, which is sad. But I have noticed since taking this off that the driver's side coolant is not going down, so this head is probably gunked up with crap or something. So, you know, it probably wasn't great to begin with. Where you see the passenger side is empty, it's all drained away like it should. It hasn't drained away over there, so I'm just about up to pulling the head. You know, got the water pump all off, that's over there, got to clean that up, put that on the other engine. so on and so forth. I did run into one problem, which I mentioned in another video, which hopefully I've uploaded by now. But so the coolant protrusion on the block, on this block, is really not too bad. It's kind of all there, and it's right in the middle of that sort of hump that it's in, right in the middle. This block, however, the hump is gone half, and it's over on the right, so I've got less meat here than here. I was going to tap and drill when the block was separated and I could clean it all out, another you know, brass thing to put the coolant thing on, and then when I looked at the head and saw that how close that was, I went, nah, I got a good chance I'm going to blow through this side here and I won't be a happy person. So when I took it all off, where is it? Over here somewhere. Yep. When I took it all off, this is the coolant hose that fits on it, and of course he don't fit no more because it doesn't have the big bulbous protrusion at the end of it. So this is sort of an original shaped for that, and it's not going to work on this engine. So went down to Autobahn, got some fuel hose, and the fuel hose goes on pretty good. I know it's not, you know, it's not the thing, but helps if I keep the camera. Don't look at what you're doing, look at what the camera's doing, idiot. Yeah, I know it's not, but hey, it'll sort of wrap around there and go up there or something, I don't know, but that's a lot better than the way it was flopping around before, you know, with a good clamp on that and whatever. That shouldn't leak, but I couldn't get a good clamp because the other problem is all the clamps that I've got, these clamps are the smallest I could get, and they dig into the hose. As you can see, this one, they're just too big, so I'm going to redo this piece of hose that just goes in under there. Two, with that fuel hose, it's a little bit, so this is the only bit that's still got its knob. Let's just call it a knob. It's still got its knob on the end. It's a bit hard to get the fuel line over that, but I'll manage. The other thing I've got to get is, took the distributor out and notice how bad the O-ring actually is. Like, there's just nothing left of that fella, so I'll have to, they didn't have any oil rated O-rings at the auto shop, go figure. So they didn't have any oil rated, so I've got to go to hydraulic shop, see if I can get an oil rated O-ring. But none of that is going to stop me from now pulling this out, so I think that's going to be my next adventure. Yeah, so now all that stuff's off. Just got to get the earth cable off of there. I've kind of redone all my earth cables. Get all that off, unscrew all the bell housing, everything, unscrew my mounts which are down there, and unscrew the exhaust, which I'll have to clean up all my sawdust from, so which is all, you know, down there. So I'll get all that done, get this out, and then start getting the gearbox ready to come out. Cool. Alright, so day 2. Last night I took the engine out. I don't know if I filmed after I took the engine out. Anyway, I don't think so, because I've taken the engine out and it was kind of lucky I did. So it's sitting over here, a bit sad and sorry for itself. Like I said, this coolant passages, this coolant passage is still full of coolant, even though the whole engine's out and has been yanked out of the car. So it's blocked for sure, because the other one's empty. So there's a blockage in that coolant passage. Oh man, the English language is getting difficult right now. Blocked, right, it's blocked in the passage. So that's one good thing that I took the engine out. The other thing that it was doing, when I dropped the oil, it stunk like petrol, like you wouldn't believe. And if I pull a plug for you, they are all carbon fouled. I'll keep these, I'll clean them. Spark plugs are getting expensive, but every single one of them is the same, so they're all even. And what I found was the PCV valve sitting on the inlet manifold I could blow through it. So if I could blow through it, it's supposed to suck, not blow. So if I could blow, so it was pumping exhaust gases into the thing and like letting fuel into it wasn't doing what it should have been doing anyway. The bigger problem I found with it, I was just swapping over the head covers, and look at that. So that is not coolant that has dripped down into there. I only just took the valve cover off a second ago, and yeah, leaking. I thought all those Welsh plugs looked alright when I did it, but no, that one's leaking. So this engine would have had to have been pulled soon enough anyway. So there you go. Don't necessarily pull an engine out of a completely rotten, broken in half car and expect it to be okay. Just, you know, word for the wise. As for the PCV valve, this was the inlet that came off Rotten Red's motor, and the reason I didn't use it is because this water passage had been must have rotted, and they cut it off, and they used a different hose. I couldn't figure out what was going on for a minute until I realized that, yeah, that was like that. So I robbed the PCV valve out of that, and so this is the inlet manifold I got, and as you can see, this tube goes on and then has a little kink there. A bit longer, they cut that off about there, over on that one. So I swapped the PCV valve, which is just sitting there, swapped that over, and who would have thought, you know, this inlet manifold came off a flooded car. So, you know, I guess maybe that's why the PC valve may have been faulty, seeing as it was flooded. So, but that one's not blowing. It is just sucking. So that's all good. So that should be fine and fixed. Everything's disconnected now. All bar, I've got the pins out of the CV joints, so I just have to get the CV joints off, and I have to drop the cross member and take the thingos off, drop the cross member. That'll drop the gearbox down onto the sway bar, and then I can shimmy. I'm going to try and shimmy and get the CVs off when it's all loose. Hopefully that'll work. I'll let you know. Got the speedo cable out, got the speedo cable put in on the gearbox before it goes into the car, makes it a bit easier. It's completely and utterly butchered, so that's fine. I haven't even looked at the bell housing. I just dropped it down and put the speedo cable in. I haven't looked inside the bell housing, so I'm going to clean that up as well before it goes in. Yeah, it's getting there very slowly. Got the 81 brackets on the thing ready for the cross member up here, which is the 81 cross member, which I've walled out a bit, and so it'll take the 81 brackets. I've got a rebuild kit for all the bushings here. So a rebuild kit for all the bushings, including the one that's still over there on it. There was no bushings at all. I kind of went to, I wasn't going to do that, but then I went and looked, and where is it? It's up over there. Everything's in the road. Get out the road, engine. I got to looking, and then I looked at this one and I thought, it doesn't have any bushings on it at all. And I had to take this piece off the shaft because when they put the bolt in, they put the bolt in facing the gearbox, so that was the only way I could get that out. So I went, oh, that kind of needs a bush, because there are literally none in it. And yeah, the rest of them are, I don't know if that one's sloppy or not, because that one goes into that, but oh, I suppose I better get a bolt for that, because I don't have one. Cool. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so that's got to get all done, cleaned up. I don't know, these came with the kit, I think. I don't know what these are for. Something. That one maybe. I'll know when I take it apart. Alright, so that's that done. I had to get what I didn't have as well. I don't know how they managed it, or if it was just left in the car. I didn't have this bit up here, which is the EA82 little shift thingamy jig. There's a bolt for it in the car, so you bolt that up in underneath, and then this part bolts onto that part there, like that. And that's how that, you know, otherwise that's just sort of hanging around in free space, free air. So once I've got this gearbox out, I will then start working on the rack, and I'll get the SF rack fitted in, and you have to make some modifications on the cross member. So I'll do that. Obviously, that's a hell of a lot easier with everything out the road. And then I've got new inner and outer tie rods for this manual rack, which I will then put back in, because I'm waiting on hosing for the pump. Yeah. Anyway, so, and I'll clean everything up down there because it's just had oil, so it's leaking. So this is leaking out of out of the front, the inner seal in here, it's leaking, which you can't get to. You can replace it, but you can't get to it without splitting the whole gearbox apart and starting all over again, which is fine, but I'd rather put a 5-speed in it. So I hope that one doesn't leak. I think they're better gearboxes than these anyway. So yeah. So this is where we're up to, day 2. So I was a bit bummed taking the motor out just for another oil leak, which it was still leaking. But now that I've seen that Welsh plug, I mean the PCV valve, that wasn't the motor, that was the inlet, and easily fixable. But because the motor ran well. Oh, that's right, the head gasket was leaking coolant as well. So it was leaking coolant from the head gasket on one side and the Welsh plugs were leaking on the other. So cool, you know, bye-bye engine. Yeah, so I've still got to, on this, I've still got to gap the tappets properly, gap the tappets there, and get him on top dead center and get the distributor set up, because this has got to fire first go. You know, no ifs, buts or maybes. So I'll get cracking with, I gotta get a tappet spanner back off Murray, he's got one. So yeah, I'll get cracking. I'll continue on. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Just little things, keep the feet moving. You know, I might not take that gearbox out today, but I might get it all ready to go. See how I feel. My knees are a bit dodgy. So I'll see how I go. Right, so here he is. Gearbox is out. So gearbox is out, and I got a big hole. Now the way I took the gearbox out, I've been told you can just take him out the front. Just take him out the front. So what I did first is I got the jack in underneath there, jacked the bottom of the gearbox up, got the cross member dropped down and out, then I dropped the gearbox down, and because it's the 81 and it's so damn long, it sits on the sway bar. So I rested the back on the sway bar, the front still rested up on the cross member. So then I crawled back out, crawled in the car, tried to bring it forward, and there just wasn't enough room to fit the gearbox sort of angled up and through. So that didn't work. So what I ended up doing was coming backwards. You can see I kind of scratched the that stuff on the floor, bloody concrete, a scooch. So I came forward and I dropped it down off the roll, then went down through that little bit where the roll bar sticks up a bit higher, and the gearbox got stuck, and that still wasn't enough room. So then I got the jack out, I jacked up that side of the car, so that side of the car went up, so it gave me more room to put that down and under, and then I laid the gearbox down on its side, got the boss to jack up the car even further on that side, and then I slid it out underneath to the spot you see now. Whether that's the right way or the wrong way, that's the way that worked for me. Probably helps a bit because it's lifted. It's got the lift kit on it, so you know, that'll help me more so than a car that's not lifted. But anyway, yeah, you could probably bring it in through the front if you didn't have the grill and the AC condenser and all that in the road, you probably could just bring it straight through the front, but I didn't want to dismantle the entire front of the car. So anyway, that's out. It's leaking oil, good, even though I drained it. So it's been leaking badly out the back. I'm going to steal that little cone thing off the end, because the cone thing on this one is bent. Hopefully it fits. Got to figure out my wiring next, so I've got to get those 4 wires there rewired to go into the back of the. I've already got the plugs in the back of that one, so they can just go to clip. So I should be right now just to wire that up, and I'll probably put all that in, because I'll have to measure how far that is, because that's not going to reach if I just change that to a DT plug each. They're not going to reach, so I'm going to have a join. I'll have to buy another I'll just go from a 4-point, or I might buy a 4-point DT to I'll do that. I'll replace that whole thing. I'll go four cable DT to another DT. It'll look nicer. Okay, cool. So there we go. It's out. I've got to slide it out the damn road while I'm working. Anyone want a 4-speed EA81 gearbox? Yeah, cool.